Hello everyone, Neil Tappin here from Golf Monthly and welcome to a new venue for us. This is Fox Hills Golf Club in Surrey, and this video in which we are going to take a look at the 7 reasons you're not improving at golf. We're going to take a look at everything from the way in which you practice to the strategy that you're using out on the golf course to give you some ideas to add that little bit of extra performance to your game this year. Right, let's get going. Okay, so we're joined by Alex, and in the first part of this video, Alex, we're going to be talking about the way in which people should practice while they're out on the golf course, because on-course practice is absolutely crucial, isn't it, if you want to get better?
Definitely.
But so many people get it wrong. What do people get wrong about it?
I think people associate the golf course, whether they're playing on their own or in a competition or in a practice, they try to replicate that competition environment in a sense that, right, I've got to play my best score, I've got to do my best, and sometimes become a little bit disheartened with it.
Yes.
Whereas I think when you're on the golf course, especially on your own or even with friends, if it's not in a competition, it's time to hone your skills.
Yes. Yeah, so getting away from thinking about specific swing positions and the mechanics of the golf swing,
Exactly.
and instead focusing on the actual art of playing golf.
Exactly. I think it's lost, if I'm honest.
Okay, so what's a good tip then for people?
So, I've got my phone here. I want you to open up the notes section on your phone, and if you're playing 9 holes, I want you to write down on your phone 4 shots you want to hit.
Okay.
So that could be, for me, high fade, low fade, high draw, low draw, punch if you're on a links golf course. It can be pretty much exactly what you want to set it up to. Now, whether you can play the shots or not, it's immaterial.
Okay.
I want you to tick it if you actually have a chance to play the shot, and then another tick next to it if you then pull that shot off.
Okay, good.
Because the best thing about this is we're actually getting some real-time feedback to what shots work well and what shots don't. So you get onto the golf course on a Saturday, you know, well, on the 16th, I tried to hit a draw here, but then last week I played a fade, I hit the green. So you got some real powerful advice about your own game. Okay,
so some people watching this might say, that's fine for a mid-handicapper or a low handicapper, but what if you're not such a high-skilled golfer? What if you're sort of just starting out, just getting into the game? What sort of shots should they be trying to play?
I think personally they should just be trying to develop a stock shot.
Okay.
So what that is for their game. And even if you set out and practice like you are the top player, I think that's always a good thing to do.
Okay.
Because you always hear about footballers who play with the better footballers, it raises their game. So why not, if we're new to the game, why not try and practice as if you are a professional?
Okay, good. All right, so we are on the 16th hole here at Fox Hills. I'm going to let you into a small secret. It's first thing in the morning. Alex not hit a shot yet, and it's 200 yards and it's slightly into the wind. It's very difficult, but you know, throwing you at the deep end. What shot are you going to try and play here, Alex?
For me, I'm a fader of the golf ball, so I'm going to try and tick off my comfortable shot, a fade. Now, if it was a little bit later in the day and I was warmed up, this would be one where I'd try and step out my comfort zone and play the opposite shot.
Okay, good. Well, you've got to play it now for us. Well, Alex went for the fade and it's turned into a slight draw and it's gone a little bit left. That'll test out your short game,
Definitely.
But hopefully that advice on how to think about your game while you're practicing out on the golf course could make a big difference. Okay, so for the next one, we've come down to the range here at Fox Hills. And Alex, in the notes that you sent me, you said closed practice is one of those things that players do that they shouldn't necessarily do.
Yep.
What do you mean?
So if we just take our mat here, like our little practice sanctuary, we tend to hit the same club, to the same target, time after time after time. And that is not what happens out on the course.
It's not. However, people watching this will say, well, how am I supposed to get better if I can't hit shot after shot and develop those key mechanics in my golf swing?
Of course, I was guessing you would probably come in that. To me, yes, there is that old adage of more reps, more likely to be a repeatable move in our swing. But I think if we can blend that in with some random practice as well,
okay,
that's how we're going to get some real benefit in our game.
Okay, gotcha. So how do you do that then?
So I like to do it in 5-ball sets. Anytime anybody comes to me for a lesson, I talk about a 5-ball set. So the first 3 golf balls are our closed environment, same target, drilling a swing, our traditional form of our practice.
Okay.
The final 2, I will try and change target, change task, and actually set myself an objective like on the golf course for those 2 shots.
What sort of thing are you talking?
So for example, driver, set up a fairway.
Okay.
Pick a target down the driving range, which could be a flag. And if you're setting up good scenarios, it's more likely to be a repeatable scenario. So you've got a great blend of our traditional closed practice with a bit of random thrown in there as well.
Okay, good. So there you have it. It just goes to show that you need to take a smarter approach to the way in which you practice using the same club and hitting the same shot over and over again can actually do you more harm than good. How well do you know your game? It's a pretty simple question, but actually it's something that so many people get wrong. And here we're talking really, Alex, about self-diagnosis,
Yes.
things that you think you're good at or not good at. And that forms the way in which you practice and the way in which you think about your game. Explain more.
I guess this really comes from my own experience, really. I always think that I'm not a great pitcher of the golf ball. So I have this illusion in my head that my pitching is not the best area in my game, but I did a little test. So after I played about 3 or 4 rounds of golf, I got a card out, analysed how many fairways I hit, did I miss it left, did I miss it right, how many greens I hit, how many pitch shots I hit, and actually, it was because I was leaving myself so many pitch shots from missing so many fairways and hitting it out the trouble.
Gotcha.
So really, actually, my driving was the area of the game that I needed to improve, not my pitching.
Yes, very interesting.
It is, and we could be then have this wrong illusion about what is good, what is bad, and that's going to channel our focus and our practice
Yes.
potentially into the wrong area.
Yeah, it's interesting. I did something similar. I sort of looked at my own game, figured out where I was missing off the tee, and actually learned that I'm much more likely to miss right than I am to miss left, which I wouldn't necessarily have known without actually taking that bit of time to focus on what was going on.
Exactly, and something like that, when you've got trouble off the tee, where you've got water left, water right, it could give you a bit of what I'd think of comfort, because if you know if you're less likely to miss it left, and you've got water left, you could probably go at a drive and be a little bit more confident on it.
Yeah, so there you have it. Take a little bit of time to look at your game in detail, be honest with yourself, figure out where you're hitting good shots and where you're hitting bad shots, and let that become the basis from which you formulate a practice plan. Okay, so the next one on the list relates to goal setting. Now, Alex, I'm a 5 handicapper, and I'd love to get down to scratch. Is that a good goal to have or a bad goal to have?
I think it's a good end goal to have, because we always want to work to something that's our end goal, but I would try and make it into a bite-sized task of how do I get there. So we know with your European Tour players or scratch players, whatever it might be, they've got a very good short game and very good at putting. So I would be focusing your attention on, right, okay, how many up times am I getting up and down? How many putts am I holding on strokes gained? And I would try and knock those tasks off, because we know if we do that, we'll be able to achieve our end goal.
Okay, so for the average person who's watching, I don't know what handicap you're off. Let's say you're off an 18 handicap. Alex, what's a good goal for somebody off that sort of handicap?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is if we can hit more greens. So whether you're hitting 1 green at the moment, 2 greens, want to get up to 5, it's proven. If you can hit more greens in a round, you're more likely to shoot a slower score.
Okay, fine. So goal setting, it's really, really simple, but how many of you out there are actually doing it? Leave comments below. Have you had any goals in the past? And if so, what have they been? We'd be interested to hear your thoughts. But making them a little bit smaller, a little bit more of a bite-sized goal could make a difference in the long run. Okay, so for this one, we're on the driving range, and for anyone watching this, I'm sure you'll spend plenty of time on the range, but Alex, what's the best way to use those different targets that you can see out there to make your practice as exciting as possible?
Yeah, I think the key thing is we're trying to do something that actually makes us want to practice and actually helps develop skills, because most people when they go to the range, they practice monotonously.
Yes.
So the one that I really like is the 9-shot drill. Draw, fade and straight, low, medium and high.
Okay, now I've heard that before. That's one that I know that Tiger Woods used to be very, very good at, didn't he? But obviously, you've got to be pretty good to be able to pull that one off. Not all of us are going to be able to do that. What's a good game for, I don't know, your average golfer out there, mid-handicapper, high-handicapper?
I would finish his range session off, because I think there's still time where you want to hit ball off the ball, potentially. But I'd finish your range session off by playing maybe 1 or 2 holes, maybe you're stroking next one, or maybe a hole that you don't like at your golf course, because then you're hitting a driver, you're hitting an iron, you're hitting an approach. So ideally, maybe a par 4 and a par 5.
Right, fine. So you're picturing that hole.
Exactly.
And specifically, you're picturing exactly the sort of shot that you're going to want to play.
Exactly. Even better, if most courses have a course guide, you can take that course guide to the range with you. Really helps you get a powerful image of what you're trying to picture.
Yeah, visualization is one of those crucial elements to being better at golf, getting good at golf, and actually you can develop that on the range in practice. Okay, so the next one relates to practice games.
Yeah.
Alex, it's something that, again, it's probably one of those things that a lot of people don't do, and it's a great way of improving, isn't it? What's the sort of scenario that you set up here? What are you looking to achieve?
So, up and down challenge. Now, no matter what your handicap is, par is 2. So if I've got a chip here, can I chip it close? Can I hold a putt?
Okay.
So we're working on 2 aspects of the game on this focus of a task. So 1, is my chipping good? Or 2, can I hold a putt to recover my chipping?
Okay, and do you want to be putting yourself, what sort of positions around the green are you looking to put yourself
What
in?
I tell people is, because categorically people have holes at their golf club they don't like, usually stroking next one, or they can probably name 2 or 3 holes that they always bogey or find them troublesome holes. I would pick those holes, go in your typical scenarios, chip round the green and try and get them up and down. For me, that's going to do 2 things. 1, improve your short game, takes the anxiety away from actually hitting the green, but you actually then proved to yourself you can get it up and down, so psychologically it doesn't become as much of a terrible shot on the approach.
Yes, actually you might end up hitting a few more greens
Exactly.
as a result. So you're saying that during a practice round, each green go to a couple of different places and test your short game
Definitely.
skills.
Even better if you've got a playing partner, so if we were doing it together, Neil,
Yeah.
I would chip, you would chip. How can I beat you over the couple of different scenarios you do each hole?
Yeah, okay, fine. So let's have a go at this one
Okay,
then. A little bit wet underfoot, Alex, but I'm sure you've got the skills to master this.
we'll try.
Lovely.
That's it. A little bit of work left with the putter.
Okay, so the next one on our list relates to practicing again, but practicing in particular the parts of the game that you don't really enjoy. So let's say you're a good driver of the ball and you really enjoy driving. There's going to be something in there that you're not so good at, that you don't enjoy so much, but it's crucial to practice, isn't it, Alex?
Definitely, I think you just alluded to it there. Most people, if you had to comment down below what clubs you practice, it would be driver, it would be 7-iron, and every time we go to the range, we're creatures of habit, we're going to use those clubs.
Yeah.
Whereas we step into a short game scenario, we're more likely to practice chip and run, because it's an easier shot, we like it, and less likely to focus on something hard like a bunker shot.
Yeah, I mean, how many of you watching this practice your bunker play? Now, Alex, what's a good tip for someone who does struggle with this area of the game, just to help them kind of improve the technique around their bunker play?
I've got 2 rules really in the bunker. Number 1 is setup, and number 2 is a feeling through the shot.
Okay.
So number 1, really simple. We've got a normal traditional setup. I want you to feel like your tailbone is a lot lower. Lowers the handle, lowers the hands, helps you to be shallow relative to the ball.
Okay, good. And then?
Number 2, a lot of people traditionally will release the club like they would a long iron, purely because of how they set up to it. So I want you to feel, imagine there's a smiley face on your club face. On the way through and through impact, can we feel like we point the smiley face back at you?
Okay, good, simple. All right then,
Really simple.
Alex, go for it.
Okay, so low setup, point the smiley face back at you.
Lovely, beautifully played. So it doesn't matter whether you are confident in the bunker or not. Find the areas of the game that you don't enjoy quite so much and devote a little bit more time to those in practice. So there you have it, that's our list of 7 reasons why golfers don't improve. I think if you're honest with yourself, there's probably at least a couple of things in there that you're doing that could make a big difference to your game. Guys, please do leave some comments below. Is there anything that you've done in your game that's really worked for you? Let us know, share it around. I think it could make a big difference to people's games. But for now, from Fox Hills, it's goodbye.